So I've had most of my onions out of this bed now, and it's getting very overgrown with whatever weed this is. I think I might have this as my garlic bed in October over the winter, so I do need to get on with pulling these out. But first I'll get some of these onions out and see how many we have ready. I've already got probably about around 40 to 50 at home drying out, ready for storing. So we'll see and have a bit of a count after I've got these up. So I've actually surprisingly had a lot more onions ready than anticipated. So I had a mixture of red and white, and these were all grown from sets. So these are ready a lot sooner than my ones that are at the back over there that I've done from seed. However, these won't last as well or as long as the ones from seed. So I do like to mix it up a little bit, because sometimes I don't have the best of luck with my seeds compared to what I do my sets. But yeah, a pretty good harvest. So now I have my onions, I'm going to go and have a look at my tomatoes to see how they've done. Usually this time in previous years, or usually at this time of the year, these are a lot bigger, and yeah, they're not as big this year. I mean, usually they would be, you know, way up. And I've stuck with the same variety. It's not that I've changed variety. I think it's just purely due to the weather and the temperature that we've had here in the northwest this year. But I can see that I have some yellow, some ripening, maybe a couple of red ones down here. I do have a lot of fruit, and a job that I do need to do is cut the ends off these tomatoes so that they stop growing. I've definitely been a little bit late doing that this year, but hopefully it still prompts some of them to ripen.
So what I'm doing here is I'm just picking the tops of the tomato plant off to stop them from growing anymore. And by doing this, I'm hoping to redirect the plant's energy into ripening the tomatoes that have grown now. It's probably unlikely that I'm going to get much more fruit than what I already have set and grown. And as the light levels start to reduce here in the UK, it's better to start getting them to ripen a little bit sooner rather than later. So these tomatoes that I'm picking now are a variety called Gold Nuggets. So they're a yellow tomato and they're quite easy to grow in containers. I actually completely forgot that I sowed these this year. So it's quite nice to see that they are doing well outside, because I think I meant to actually put these in the polytunnel. And I think that these are my Costaluto tomatoes, which are an Italian variety, and these do really well for me outside usually, so I'm really hoping they ripen.
Well, it's a bit disappointing with tomatoes. Literally a tiny little pot full, but will still be nice in a salad. And it's nice to see that these are ripening outside, considering the British weather, the British summer that we have. So yeah, hopefully some more to come.
So I've moved over to my strawberry bed now, and a job that I had on my to-do list was to have a look at my strawberries and to see if they've put any runners out. And basically this is when the strawberries are trying to reproduce themselves. They actually grow quite similar to weeds strawberries, and I've found them at random ends of the plot. So I'm just cutting some out of my granddad so he can put them in his garden next year. And now I've brought the strawberry runners that I collected into the polytunnel, and I'm just neating them up a little bit. I should just be able to put these into some compost and keep them in the polytunnel, and they'll start to grow roots, and you'll be able to put them into your garden and hopefully have strawberries in a few years. They don't tend to produce fruit the first year, or if they do, it's usually quite small and you're not meant to pick it, and hopefully let the plant get a little bit stronger before you do that.
Another job on my to-do list, which I don't want to do, is go and have a look at my sweet corn, because I've worked quite hard on my sweet corn this year and I'm looking over at it, and the last time I checked, so just before bank holiday, I could see that rats had tried to have a little bit of a peek to see if it's ripe enough to eat yet. So for the ones that were nearly ripe, I've had to wrap them up in plastic and tie string around them to try and prevent them from eating it, because a couple of years ago I had, I want to say, over like 30 cobs, and they were good one day and the next day I came back and it was like a cartoon. They'd eaten all the way around them and I was absolutely devastated. So yeah, I've tried putting socks over them, I've tried putting plastic bottles over them, and the plastic bottles seemed to do quite well last year. So fingers crossed, I'm going to go and have a look and find what I want to find, which is cobs. So just looking, yeah. Somebody has tried to have a go at this one at least. These are the ones that I've wrapped up in plastic. Still not quite ready yet. When this is all fully dead and brown, then that indicates that it's ripe, because corn doesn't ripen off the, well, I guess the cob doesn't ripen off the corn, and as soon as you take that cob off, it starts to become bitter and lose its sweetness. So you're always better to eat your corn as soon as you take it off, really. That's when the best taste is. This one's not looking too bad. Don't know, nothing seems to have had a nibble at that. That's good. Any others? No. None on here, which is great. Is this one ready? Ooh, this one's gone very dark. I might pull this and see. The ones that I've wrapped look okay, and luckily none of these younger ones look like they've been chomped as well. So that's good. These obviously are a little bit later. I tried to succession sow these, so these will be done sooner than these will be, and I'm not even sure these will do much at all. But yeah, I'm super happy with my corn this year, so I really want to get some. This to me looks relatively ready to pull. I don't know if I'm being impatient, but I think I'm just going to do it. Just like that. After all that, I don't actually think this corn is ripe. So I should have been a little bit more patient. I've realised when I've pulled it apart that it's actually just got wet, and that's why it looks like it's darkened. That's why it looks like it's ready. But some of the kind of lower kernels, when you push them in, they're quite milky, so it might be a case that I just have a little bit of a mini cob of this one. So yeah, gardening will teach you to be patient eventually. So not bad for a couple of hours at the allotment, mainly picking produce, checking on some corn, seeing what's going on. Definitely needs weeding and starting to get some of these beds ready for my winter crops. So I got some good courgettes, marrows even now, pickling cucumbers, a few tomatoes and lots of onions. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you again soon.